Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Parx Racing here on Saturday. It is September the 22nd, 2018. It's Pennsylvania Derby Day from Parx, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races, including the Pennsylvania Derby. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. So we're going to look at all the stakes races, races 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So races 7, 8, 9, 10, and the featured 11th race, which is the Pennsylvania Derby. So let's get on to it, starting off with race number 7 to the lawn now. It's the Alphabet Soup Stakes. Purse $100,000. This race is for Pennsylvania breds, 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of a dozen horses going the distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Parx lawn of the turf course. 1,700, a mile 16th. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. My top selection here, and my top selection, I like the 6-horse, fast and accurate. Gonna go 6, 7, 10, 1 in the superfecta. 6, 7, 10, 1 super. Top selection 6-horse, fast and accurate. I was single in the multi-race. 4-year-old colt by Hansen here. Jose Ortiz gets the leg up for Mike Maker. The horse's most recent outing came the 8th of July at Presque Isle. 1 mile in the Tapeta in the Lee Mat Stakes. The horse finished second by 3/4 length. He had a little bit of a wide posture, and he left from the gate. And, he set the pace early on, and he just couldn't get the good closing kick since he had to be used a lot earlier. Today, with a good posture, with a long run to the first turn, I think he'll really do well. Before that, he ran the 28th of April Gulfstream, a mile and 16th in the Miesque's Approval Stakes. The horse finished second by 3/4 length there, and he just never had the good closing kick, and he had a lot of traffic trouble that day. It's hard to explain. Go watch the replay for that race, and you'll kind of understand what the traffic trouble was. And then before that, in the Kentucky Cup Classic at Turfway, mile and 8th, March 17th, horse finished third by 3 lengths. Again, an outside posture, very wide, and he just never had anything into it. It wasn't the day to win. And then at Gulfstream again, the 17th of February, mile 16th, and just a 60,000 overnight stakes. The horse finished third by 3 3/4 lengths. He's a little farther back, but he had a decent turn of foot. This race is not nearly as tough as some of the races he faced this year, and I think he'll really do well here. He hasn't won since the 4th of November. That came at Calder, Gulfstream Park West. 1 mile in the showing up stake, where this horse won by 3/4 length. Stalked early on, and then he just dug into a very good victory. I like him a lot here today. 5-2. It's not the best price, but you'll have to take him. Single in the multi-race. So to recap my selection for the 7th from Parx, it's the Alphabet Soup Stakes, named after the 96 British Cup Classic winner at Woodbine. He beat Cigar, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But it's the Alphabet Soup Stakes. Top selection. Going to use the 6-horse, fast and accurate. Going to go 6, 7, 10, 1 in the superfecta. To race number 8. Race number 8 from Parx. It's the Pennsylvania Derby Champion. It's going for a purse of $150,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 9 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, with the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Parx main track. 1,700, a mile 16th, main track. Top selection, I like the number 3 horse here, Zanatti. I'm going to go 3, 6, 7, 4 in the superfecta. 3, 6, 7, 4 super. If you're going to play a multi-race, I would go 3 with the 6 and the 7. I would use all 3 of them. But the 3, 6, I'm actually going to do an exacta box with those 2 as a side wager. But my top selection, I love the 3-horse Zanatti, and 15-1 is a gift of odds. 5-year-old Gelding here by Gio Ponti. Angel Arroyo gets the leg up. Juan Carlos Guerrero trains this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of September at Saratoga. A mile and 1/8 in the Grade 1 Woodward handicap. The horse finished 10th by 9 3/4 lengths there. He was brakeman barrier number 13 of 14, which is just absolutely crap at Saratoga. But 13 out of 14, left off the gate, wide into the turn, wide around the far turn, and he just hit the wall. Couldn't keep up with them. He had to be used a lot. It just wasn't the day to win. Before that, at Monmouth, the mile on the 8th, July the 29th, and the Monmouth Cup, the horse finished second by half length there. And, he didn't break all that well, which probably cost his horse the victory, but he didn't break all that well. But he had a decent turn of foot from the back of the pack. He nearly got to Name Changer, who won that day, but he ran his heart out there. And then the Suburban Handicap, the Grade 2 Suburban Handicap at Belmont, a mile and a quarter, July the 7th. He finished 6 by 10 lengths. From the inside, he stalked early on, diversified, but then he just hit the wall. Couldn't keep up with them going the mile and a quarter. But I think the mile 16 trip is to his liking. He's also on his home track, which should really do well. He's 7-4 here at Parx. His last Parx appearance came last July of 2017, 1 mile in a allowance optional claimer where he won by 7 lengths, closing up well from the back of the pack. Was an easy victory. Then after that, they took this horse up in class in the Queen's County at Aqueduct last Christmas, where he won by a neck at 36-1, or excuse me, 38-1. He ran a hell of a race there, and a very tough Queen's County, shall we say. And then before that, and then after that, he ran the John B. Campbell at Laurel, where he finished second. He ran a decent effort there also. But I think coming back to the home track at 15-1, I like him a lot. He'll be used as top selection. He'll get a win wager from me, and he'll be used in a exacta and super wagers. So here's to recap my selections now for the 8th from Parx. It's the PA Derby champion. It's gonna go as a top selection to 3 horses Donati. Gonna go 3, 6, 7, 4 in the superfecta. I'll go 3, 6, 7 in the multi race, and I'm gonna go 3, 6 exacta box. So now let's get on to race number 9 from Parx. It's the Gallant Bob Stakes, grade 3, purse $300,000. Races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 10 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, with the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Parx main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs, Parx main track. Top selection here. I like the number 4 horse, the 4 horse Engage. Gonna go 4, 8, 10, 3 in the superfecta. 4, 8, 10, 3 super. Top selection of 4 horse Engaged. 3-year-old colt by Into the Mischief. Jose Ortiz gets leg up for Chad Brown. The horse's most recent outing came the 25th of August at Saratoga. 7 furlongs in the King's Bishop, formerly now known as the Allen's Jerkins. The horse finished 4th by 2 lengths there. Promises fulfilled. Is probably the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country at the minute. This horse didn't break all that well. A horrible trip, got a little traffic trouble around the far turn, around the 3/8, and he just couldn't get the good closing kick. It just wasn't the day to win. A horrible trip. Before that, the grade 3 Amsterdam at Saratoga, good going, 6.5 July the 28th, local prep race for the King's Bishop. He finished second by 3 1/4 lengths behind Promises Fulfilled. He hit the gate, and again, he had a little traffic trouble, which cost him. But before then, the Woody Stevens at Belmont, 7 furlongs, June the 9th. He had a very good second place, finished by 1 1/4 lengths. He sat back early, but he was closing up well, got caught, and then, but he still had a good effort there. And then he won the Gold Fever at Belmont very nicely. He has a good running style, I think, for this race, sitting a little bit mid-pack. And at 4-1, I'll take my chances with him. I like him a lot. The pick 4 begins off with this race. Don't know why they couldn't do an all-stakes pick 4, but the pick 4 begins with this race here. And I would go, I would use the 4 horse, and I would use the 8 horse Noble Commander at a 15-1 odds as a nice horse to put on the ticket, because I think he's alive also. But to recap my selections for the 9th from Parx, it's the grade 3 Gallant Bob Stakes. Gonna go with the 4 horse Engage. Gonna go 4, 8, 10, 3 in the superfecta. Go 4, 8 in the multi-race. So now let's get on to race number 10. Race number 10 from Parx. It's the Cotillion Stakes, grade 1, purse $1 million. This race is for fillies, 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Park main track. 1,700, a mile 16th. And this division, the 3-year-old filly division this year, has been the most consistent, I think, because, the 3-year-old boys have been really inconsistent because everybody's been falling off the face of the map. But this division is very, it's a very good one, and I think a horse... She could win the Horse of the Year, I think, if she beats the boys. If she runs in the Breeders' Cup Classic next and beats the boys, she could win Horse of the Year. But I highly doubt she's going to run in the Classic against the boys. But you never know. But my top selection, I would go with the 2-horse Monomoy Girl. I think she's a very underrated horse so far this year. A lot of people not talking about her. They're all talking about other horses. But Monomoy Girl, she's up there this year with the best horses. I'm going to go 2, 5, 4, 7 in the superfecta, 2, 5, 4, 7 super, top selection of 2 horse Monomoy Girl, single in the multi-race, 3 to 5 here, Brad Cox trains, Florent Giroux gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 22nd of July at Saratoga, a mile and 1/8 in the Coaching Club American Oaks. The horse won by 3 lengths, on lead all throughout. She just took off clear, a very easy race, doesn't get any easier than that. Good run there. Before that, in the grade 1 Acorn at Belmont, 1 mile, June the 9th on Belmont Stakes Day, The horse won by 2 lengths and at 60 cents to the dollar. A little bit wide, but she just again won for fun. A very easy race. And then before that, in a very tough race in the Kentucky Oaks at Churchill, on the 8th, May the 4th, horse won by half length, but from a wide poster, she left early on, a little bit wide, a little bit bumping in the stretch run with Wonder Godot, who's run back in this one, but she held on to a very good gritty race, a very good run for her there, and then she won the Ashland for fun by 5.5 lengths at Keeneland opening weekend. Very easy race there. Making her Parx debut shouldn't be a problem. I like her running style here, but she's also proven she could be maybe a little versatile. She usually sits on the front end, but if you watch the the Rachel Alexander, where she didn't break all that well, she came from behind to win that race, and that was one of her most impressive victories, the Rachel Alexander. But I expect her to probably sit closer. I like her a lot. 3 to 5. She's if I could vote for a horse of the year, she would possibly get a vote for me, because she's won 4 grade ones this year. Let's make it 5, because she's very good. Watch out for her. So to recap my selection for the 10th from Parx, it's the grade 1 Cotillion, the $1 million Cotillion Stakes. I'm going to go with the 2-horse Monomoy Girl. I'm going to go 2, 5, 4, 7 in the Super, single the 2-horse in the multi-race. So now let's get on to today's featured 11th race. Race number 11 from Parx. It's the feature race of the afternoon. It's the grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby. This race is for 3-year-olds here. Field of 10 3-year-olds going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground here of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Parx Philadelphia Park main track. 1,800, a mile and 1/8. Great race here. I think it's a good betting opportunity race. I'm going to go as a top selection to 5-horse Core Beliefs. I'm going to go 5-10, 2-5 in the superfecta, 5-10, 2-5 super. I'm going to go 5-10, 2 in my multi-race, but my top selection to 5-horse Core Beliefs, 3-year-old colt by Quality Road. Joe Talmo comes in from Southern California to ride this one for Peter Urchin. The horse's most recent outing came the 29th of July at Monmouth, a mile and 1/8 in the grade 1 $1 million Haskell. The horse finished 4th by 10.5 lengths there. He didn't break all that well, and, he just was trailing most of the race. Good Magic probably ran the race of his life that day. This horse just wasn't catching him. It wasn't the day to win. Before that, in the Ohio Derby at Thistle, mile and 1/8, June the 23rd, the horse won by a nose there. He had a wide post draw, but he had a very good turn of foot from the back of the pack. He got there beating Lone Sailor. A very good effort there. And then before that, in the Peter Pan here in New York at Belmont, mile 8th, good ground, May the 12th. The horse finished second by 1.5 lengths. He stalked most of the race, got the lead in the top lane and opened up by a bunch, but then he got caught by another Southern California horse, a Blended Citizen. He just couldn't get the good closing kick at the end. And then before then, the Santa Anita Derby, he finished third behind Justifying Bolte Oro. It just wasn't the day to win against those tough horses, but I think he's a lot more improved horse since the Santa Anita Derby. I think the improvement started with the Peter Pan. The Ohio Derby, he definitely improved, and last one, it was a little bit of a digression, but I think here he's been training well. I think he'll really run a big one. 10 to 1 horse you definitely want to use. I know I'm using because he's my top selection. And a horse I'm going to use also is the 10-horse Bravazzo. 3-year-old colt by Awesome Again. Luis Saez gets on this one. This horse's most recent outing came the 25th of August at Saratoga. Mile and a quarter in the Travers. He finished third by 5 lengths. He was a little bit wide, but he was coming at the end. He had a decent turn of foot. It wasn't a bad race. He was the best of the rest that day, shall we say, of the main portion of the group, because Mendelssohn and Catholic Cowboy or Catholic Boy were on the front and won by a bunch. But this horse, he was the best of the rest. It was a good effort there. Before that, in the Haskell at Monmouth, the mile and 8th, July the 29th, he finished second by 3 lengths. Again, a little bit wide, but he was closing up at the end. It wasn't a bad outing there. And then the Belmont, he finished 6th. You saw a very tired horse there. Just couldn't keep up with him. A very long Triple Crown campaign got to him, but before that he had a very good second place finish in the Preakness, one of only 2 horses that weekend that closed up on that racetrack at Pimlico. Finished second by a head. He just missed Justify, but he ran a very good race there. I like him a lot here today. If there's a bit of a pace meltdown, you could see this horse running at the end. Like I said, his last 2 were very good races. I think he's been improving with every race. The third by 5 lengths, don't let that bother you. And the Travers, 6 to 1. horse I'm using on my multi-race. If his odds get nice enough, I might even do a small win wager on him. But to recount my selections now for the 11th from Parx, it's the Grade 1 $1 million Pennsylvania Derby. Gonna go with the 5-horse Core Beliefs as a top selection. Gonna go 5-10-2-5 in the superfecta. I'll go 5-10-2 in my multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.